Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to Best Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Friday. Friday's the day of the week. We hand the reins over to the BonBon buddies on Patreon and say, hey guys, vote us in a map. And they've gone with this one. Now, it has been on my long list for quite some time. I was originally attracted by the thumbnail, which is half decent. And I thought, well, half decent thumbnail quite often can mean a half decent map. Which would be quite impressive considering that
it's my first map.
That's right. So let's see whether the thumbnail can be held up in terms of standards to the map itself. We're going to be kind if it doesn't, because of course we are always kind in the comments, aren't we? That's right, clicking that like button proves that you are kind, because you're being kind to another creator. That creator is me. Thank you. Today's map is Arrowhead Bay Vanilla Map by codyfoss. Confirm here that this is a 100% vanilla, so that is good news. Makes a change to give good news, doesn't it? Starts where could do a little bit more landmass to build on. Even that island's not too easy to build on. It's quite hilly, as you can see by the terrain heights. It's quite a hilly start location. Then we have resources, definitely usable in reasonable sort of positions as well, so that's good. And then if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, the fishing map looks like this. So a little bit of salmon on the other side of those hills if you want some salmon. Right, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required today. Or is there? We will get to that. Won't take long. Generous resources, I would agree with that. We'll be using the Vanilla Boreal theme, the realistic 1.2 LUT, and we have 500 plus subscribers already. Now, if we head on down to a ground level, you'll see that we have got some very nice highways. Very, very nice 2-lane highways. Yes, these are mass transit highways, not network extensions too. So you will need mass transit for this one, and already has automatically guaranteed, unfortunately, the map's got to get 1 star for gameplay, because I've got to assume that you haven't got mass transit and this map is broken. Now I'm going to try and be nice to the map though by saying, hey, look at this bridge. It's got quite a nice backdrop with that mountain, doesn't it? I mean, yes, a vanilla theme, so it's not going to be a pretty mountain. But yes, we've done that to try and be kind for as long as we can. I want to hold you for as long as I can with this map, because the thing is, while it is a my first map and some of the standards are very my first map-ish, it's not all bad. And it's going to suit for some of you. It is definitely going to suit for some of you, because we've got a decent mountain backdrop. This is a really Alpine style or Nordic style backdrop. We've got reasonably decent size of build space to build into once you get out of that first tile. And of course, if you're unlocking for free, then you can do that as well. Slightly elevated rail along here, but that's not a problem. Yes, it's very vanilla, and the vanilla trees are never pretty, but what can you do about it really if you're working with vanilla? Well, with experience, there are some trees that do work better, and some that work really quite nicely together, and so you've only got to check the work of some of the very top creators, and I don't class myself in that category. I struggle with making decent vanilla forests, so yeah, it's a skill. It's definitely a skill. Yeah, these vanilla trees are really some of the least popular ones available. But yeah, hey, first maps, this is where we're learning our trade. Now, this is not only the first map, it does appear to be the only map that, in fact, the only item on the workshop that Cody has made. So hopefully by doing this little flyover, maybe Cody might be encouraged to come back and forget about upgrading this map. It's been too long. Don't worry about upgrading this map. But starting afresh with something new, with a little bit of feedback, of course, it just makes it invokes a little bit of the spice. You go, yeah, I can do better than that, because I never thought about maybe making a bit more space in the start square to build into, that sort of thing. Then what we have here, this is your start square intersection. Actually, I quite like that one. It does appear to be hand-drawn, so all the credit for that. If it's plopped, then well done for plopping a good-looking one in there. But we've got mass transit roads on there, so I'm reckoning that was hand-drawn. And all credit, because it's actually quite a nice one. We do have a main intersection over here, which is going to merge the highways in together. And this one's not quite so polished. Again, though, works perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with it other than the aesthetics, which are, I mean, they're okay. You see here, they're okay. It's just, yeah, it's just a bit, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Now, we do have a few pillars trying to encroach onto the highways. That one's just nudging on. This one is more than just nudging on, and I think that's a very naughty pillar. You shall sit in the corner and write out your name several times. Slight bit of terrain glitchery going on there. And as we head down this way, because we won't be coming back this way, let me just point out we have everybody's favourite factory, which it'd be a sin not to use it on the first map, wouldn't it? We've got a tree, as you can see there, just clipping through the highway, and we're just skipping over the highways now because I want to get onto the rail, because the rail is, well, sometimes the rail can be dull. On some maps it can be dull, and some maps it can be awful. Today's map is not dull. It's not good. Don't get me wrong. Don't. I'm not saying that we have got highly polished rail here. What I am saying though is actually it's that you can see there's effort made. Again, from my first map, there's effort being made here. You can see here we're following, if we're talking realism, yes, already we're talking too steep. But if we're talking about trying to work with the map and try and get the rail to fit with the map, you can see here, we're following a sensible kind of route. And so I've got to give credit for this. I like people that are actually trying. It doesn't, it's the people that don't try. It's the ones where you go, oh my God, please. Okay, like here, it's a lesson to be learnt here. When you get rail right on the edge here, or even the road, if you pull back far enough, you get that blue mantle effect. Because there's just a little bit too much stretch on the mesh, and the rendering doesn't really see the smoothness anymore. We've also got a little bit of blue mantle under the rail here as well, where the mesh has been stretched. I do have a tutorial on my channel to help those of you that want to work out how to avoid that. But again, with the rail, we could have just gone straight off the cliff edge, or we could do some switchbacks like this. Now, yes, they are too steep. Yes, they are. But they are switchbacks. They are switchbacks. And I mean, credit for actually doing that much. Surely. Trying to find positive things to say here. And it's not difficult. With this map, it's not, with this creator, it's not been difficult. This junction here, quite like this as well. Some little sort of, what's going on here? Looks like it's all connected. I think we'll just have a look and move it just to see. Yeah, it is all connected. What's going on? Oh, is that? Yeah, the segment's stretched into it. Okay, so it would work. It's just aesthetically, it's a minor issue. Aesthetic and detailing, combine the two together, I guess, on that one. Okay, yeah, so the rail is, like around here, it's following a sensible, smooth route, running parallel with highways. It's going to get to the start square, so you've got rail in your start square, if that's what you're looking for. It does nip into a tunnel down the old sudden ramp and then back up the sudden ramp on the other side, which is, I suppose, technically wrong. But you know what? I think this map's got some other detailing issues that I think are probably bigger issues than the little bit of underground rail which goes in a little bit too steeply. Yeah, the rail run follows this way. Oh, I did say we would come back this way, but we are. I'm not going to sing twice, not in one show though. The rail then heads over the river. You may notice we have some trees with their trunks on. Yep, some more, they're not drowned, those ones. They are just up to their knees. So that seems to be the root of the problem. But sorry. Just sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, the rail then heads up into the pass. Goes on quite some way, and I think we've seen enough of it to know what we're looking at here. Plus, I don't want to show too much of what we'll be looking at in the second half of today's show, which will come back after this intermission with the shipping.
Do you have trouble building on steep hills? Do your buildings continually glitch into or out of the ground? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Building on Steep Hills by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Arrowhead Bay, vanilla map by codyfoss and the shipping. Right, and we have a sensible route with the shipping, no complaints. Now, if you do notice any funny stuff with the tunnels today, I've now de-eliminated Fine Road Anarchy for the tunnel anarchy issues because, well, I deactivated it and today I have tunnel issues. So it's not Fine Road Anarchy, I take that back. I don't know what it is, but it's not that. One day we'll find out. Water flow, we have a river running down through the start square. It's a little bit weak. It's a little bit of a damp squib. Okay, yeah, you'd expect it to be damp being a river. We do have a little bit of motion. Over here as well. So if you need to pump sewage into your water, it will take it away, but it's a little bit light. Speaking of water, let's have a look at here. We've got a lake in the corner. It's a triangular lake which fits very nicely into the corner. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And then if we follow the water flow down, we will start coming across a recurring theme. You've probably seen a few already. We've already seen one that I've commented on. But it's foliage-wise, it's a bit soggy, okay? We will see. Like this lake, in fact, liking the shape of this actual water system, the way that it comes down from the corner of the map and works its way into the bay at the bottom. I'm liking the shape of it. I'm liking the design of it, and overall, it's pretty good design. I've got to give credit for that. Hey, the execution might be lacking a little bit, but the design is good. Oh, here we go. Yeah, a little bit of soggy foliage going on down here. Now, those are, well, some of them are drowning. Others are just wading. But there's a few of them. Okay? Now, if that's the only place on the map where we see that, then you can say, oh, there was a slight oversight. Unfortunately, it's not. Now, we do have... We have this peninsula on the, it might be an island, like in the mottled effect on the side of the hills there. And then we have this little lake, and this lake is fine. We've got a few soggy trees there as well. And kind of, yeah, that's a little bit fantasy. I'm okay with it though. Why not have a little bit of fantasy built in? This is where we started off with that bridge that I looked away. I didn't want to show this too soon. Yes, we've got an awful lot of drowned trees down here as well. Don't drown those trees, guys. What have they ever done to you, huh? And if you think that's bad, if we go up and over there, well, nobody's ever going to see over here, so does it really matter that we have all of these as well? Apparently it does, because if we're going to take the time to build a river and a lake in the middle, we've got to at least try and save the trees. So, slight oversight there. I think the map was a little bit rushed to completion at the end, because Cody very clearly shows that they've got skills beyond a few drowned trees here and there. I think Cody got a bit bored at the end, you know. Right, we do have a start square. Start square is here. Could do with a little bit more space in the start square, but we've got space for one of these little things. And it is the asset of the day, of course. Now, it is Eastern Week, where we're doing a lot of assets from the Orient, from the Japan, China, Taiwan, Singapore, all those sort of areas. This one, although strictly speaking it looks like it's more of a Germanic item, being Wolfgang, it's actually by Markanock19, who is from that side of the world, and I forgot to double check where they're from. I think it was Taiwan. I could be wrong. I apologize. All I know is you are definitely on theme, and this is a great asset. I absolutely adore it. Factoids, because factoids while we're here. Here's one. Here's a good one. According to an Old English system of time, a moment is defined as lasting for 1.5 minutes. 90 seconds for a moment. I'm going to take a moment to think about that. Well, I won't, because we haven't got that long. Wolfgang Residence, Ploppable RICO by Markanock19. That is very, very lovely indeed. Big fan. Big fan. Cue the music. Oh, great editing again, BonBonB. We do have a Bonbon Island. It is kind of, actually. I kind of give credit to this being a Bonbon Island, just about. Not a big fan of the pier being quite this high, because this is clearly so that you can get to the lighthouse. It's not for fishing. Although it clips quite nicely into the ground here. And then we have the footpath. Now let's take a little walk up the footpath. I think we should run up the footpath, otherwise we'll be here quite some time. So, up we go, up the speed. Up the speed. I don't mind the footpaths being used. Do think that these ornamental lamps probably wouldn't exist up here, or maybe they do. Maybe it is a ceremonial lighthouse, historical, goes back several centuries. This is like the most interesting part of the entire map, so we want to have it properly illuminated, and I'm okay with that, I guess. But if you're going to go for a long walk up this path to see the essential lighthouse, well, you kind of probably want to go in and have a look around, don't you? Getting in is going to be a problem. Okay, especially from this side. If we come up the hill on the other side, though, you still see you're going to sort of like lever yourself up. Definitely not wheelchair friendly. Mind you, none of them are. But there we are. That is the Essential Lighthouse. Anyway, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click that I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But what do I think of today's map? Well, I'm glad you asked. Aesthetically. Okay, I actually quite like the design of the map. I think the execution in the polish of the map lets it down. And yes, being vanilla makes it harder to be a pretty map. But I think I kind of like the design. I want to give credit for it. I love the hills, the mountain skyline looks really good. I'm going to go 3 stars, but it has to be a low end 3. Detailing. Detailing is a little below par. Yes, it's a first map. Yes, it's somebody learning their skills, and so credit for all of that and credit for the effort. It's a long way from being a 1-star map, so don't ever tell me this is a 1-star map, okay? But it is a long way short of 3. I've got to go middle of the road 2. 2 stars for detail. Gameplay potential. It might have got a 3rd star. You know that? It might have done. But I've got to award 1 star because without mass transit, it will be unplayable. And that does need to be added to the workshop. Anyway, Arrowhead Bay Vanilla Map by codyfoss. That is a pretty solid attempt at a first map, and credit for doing it. And I'm really glad. I was attracted by the thumbnail. It was quite a bold thing, that thumbnail. So yeah, well done, Cody. Anyway, thanks very much. If you made it to the end of the show, you are part of the 20 and out elite, the rare people that get to the very last 20 seconds. Use the word of the day into the comments, score yourself some population points so that I and the other elitists will know that you made it too. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.